What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Make It or Break It Monday. So excited to be with you here today. Got a lot of great stuff to talk about, but first, we're gonna switch it up a little bit today. We're gonna do an oath in commemoration of the 10x Everything exercise. Hopefully you guys got a chance to go ahead and fill this out from what I talked about last week and what I sent. But let's go in and get started. Break outside your comfort zone, raise your right hand, repeat after me. My goals are big enough to get excited about. Success is my duty, responsibility, and obligation. My goals were here before my spouse and before my kids, but I will do everything in my power to make sure I fulfill those goals for my spouse, for my kids, for my family, and for my community. So hopefully it wakes you up, gets you excited this morning. We got a lot of good things to talk about. This exercise is actually broken down into 4 pieces. Your current goals, 5 pieces. Your current goals, your 10x goals, what you're gonna give up, what do you need to change, and what do you actually need to learn to be able to accomplish what's on this list. Each one of these is broken into income, wealth, physical, spiritual, familial, recreational, and professional. Now, that being said, limited amount of time we have, I'm gonna hit income and wealth and professional. So for me, going through this exercise, sometimes you just gotta commit first and figure the rest out later. So I'm committed to do this, and let me walk you through what I got. So income, make $8,000 a week and create a second flow of income. For wealth, eliminate all debt that isn't income producing and convert earned income into passive income and have a $10 million net worth. So big goals right out the gate. From a professional standpoint, become a vice president in the next 2 years, build a personal brand, and help Monique scale her business. So big goals to get started with, but obviously not big enough. So we need to 10x those goals. So those goals turn into, how do I make $80,000 a week? Yeah, 80. Big thinking, right? Completely changes the way your mindset is to be able to come and accomplish this stuff, right? So create a second flow of income that supplements my main income, meaning that makes as much inside that second flow as I make inside my salary today. To be able to do that, I'm probably gonna have to do something like this, like own 100 apartments that cash flow positive every single month and make my passive income greater than my earned income. If you guys didn't know, very important point, earned income, that's where you exchange your time to be paid for a specific service, right? Earned income is actually taxed at the highest tax rate possible, which is 30 to 40% roughly. Where on the flip side of that, passive income, which is made from businesses and things like apartments, is actually taxed at roughly half that. Plus you get all these other tax advantages and write-offs and things like that. So keep that in mind when you're actually doing your financial planning and thinking about how you're investing your money. So next, professional, be a C-level executive in the next 5 years. Yes, big goal. Write a best-selling book and help Monique make 6 figures in 1 year in her business. So if you guys know me, I actually have this little saying on my phone that actually says macro patience and micro intensity. So what that means is you have to have the patience and discipline to do the hard things long enough to be able to fulfill your goals. Think big, macro patience, but micro intensity, meaning that day to day you have to be firing on all cylinders to get things done. So with those big goals, we're actually gonna have to give up some things to make those happen. So I'm gonna have to give up idle time, free time after work, give up my fear of getting started, and just try to go make it happen. I'm gonna have to give up spare time on the weekends. I'm probably gonna have to give up trying to play it safe and just be comfortable, and I'm gonna have to give up tedious tasks, which, for a very good example of something that just happened recently, I was talking to my parents about this. They're not thinking the way that I'm thinking, like most people, but that's okay because I was talking about doing yard work. We've been in our house a little over a year now, and it takes me roughly 4 to 6 hours on average a month to go in and clean our yard, where I found somebody to do the same thing for $60, where my parents told me to just do the job yourself, where me personally, the opportunity cost of my time, roughly $10 to $15 an hour, it's better off for me, right? As long as I'm creating enough value to supersede that $10 to $15 an hour, then I should hire the person to do it. So you know what? I did. So if you think about it, if you do that though, and you just sit on the couch and watch TV, you're not getting it out of it, right? You gotta be able to create that value. Second example, Shopping takes over an hour for us, where there's a thing called Click List where I can add everything to my cart online, choose what time I want to pick it all up, go to the grocery store, they load my car, cost me $5 extra. Completely worth it. So that's what you have to do. You have to figure out how to give up those tedious tasks where you can do more yourself. More importantly, what am I gonna have to change to be able to obtain these goals? I'm gonna have to stop being dependent on others to create success for me on their terms and create my own success on my terms. So I'm gonna have to start setting time limits on everything I do to be able to accomplish that. I'm also gonna have to probably hire help from my wife if I'm gonna help her scale her business, and I'm gonna have to produce more with the time that I have. I'm also gonna have to exercise extreme ownership on all levels below me and above me inside the workplace, and I'm gonna have to ask for what I want. Part of this though is I'm gonna have to give up time, right? I'm gonna have to give up time that I like to use to sleep and other leisure activities, but at the end of the day, I was just finishing this book called Sovereignty. It's called Sovereignty, The Battle for the Hearts and the Minds of Men by Ryan Mitchell. And one of the key things in there was, don't let the way you feel dictate the way you behave. You can't listen to those little voices that say sleep in, right? You have to spend your time doing something, right? But every day I'm at a competition with myself to be able to achieve these goals. So I have to look past all that. I have to rise above that, and I have to go in and create value. So lastly, what do I need to learn to be able to do all this? I need to learn how to build a business. I need to learn how to be more efficient, and I need to learn how to make faster decisions. Just decision, move on. I also need to how to build a real estate team, and I also need to build how to replicate myself in my own team and in any other responsibility that I have in life. Lastly, from a professional standpoint, I need to be able to gain, how do I actually gain and build attention? How do I lead an entire organization? And how do I create confidence in others? So all of those, very, very important to be able to get to the point where I can even come close to achieving these big goals. So guys, you have to think about this. Winners plateau, losers quit, but masters never stop this process, okay? Stop doing certain things. Do less and master more. That's really what it's about. You need to don't have selective urgency, right? Be urgent about everything. And if you guys don't know this, you have meetings at work all the time, and meetings that you set in life, but there's this thing called Parkinson's Law, where literally the time you set is the time it takes. So if you schedule an hour meeting, isn't it just magical how that meeting always takes almost exactly an hour? If you schedule 30 minutes, same exact thing. It always takes almost or exactly, maybe even a little bit more than 30 minutes. So you know what I started doing? I started scheduling 15-minute meetings, 20-minute meetings. Instead of 60 minutes, I'll schedule 45 minutes when I know that I might need more than 30 minutes. I'll write to-do items or items to address in that agenda so everybody knows what we're doing, they come prepared, and we get more stuff done. So have urgency, not selective urgency. At the end of the day though, I need you guys to be courageous. I need to be courageous. Just doing this helps me become courageous because when I speak this into the world, I talk about my goals, things that I want to accomplish, it makes me be better. It makes me focus on a way, how am I actually going to do these things, right? If you want any of these things to come to fruition, you have to push hard and you have to be courageous to do it. All right, so with that, hopefully you guys have a wonderful week and I will talk to you next week. Thanks.